Manchester United 2, Leeds United 0. We all hate Leeds. We've beaten them again over in Oslo. A good performance by Erik ten Hag's youngsters. Also by, I don't know why I split youngsters into two words there. I was going to go with young guns, but I changed my mind halfway through. And then split youngsters into two words, which didn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm Jay Motti. That's Joe Smith. We're going to talk about the game. Get involved in the comments and the chat. I mean, I don't want to get carried away from that performance.
Yeah.
Because it's only early days, Leeds aren't very good.
Yeah.
It was a resis for half the game. But I can honestly say, under my heart, 21 is coming this season.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
It is, yeah. And obviously, first half, we saw some of the, what would you say, mediumsters. I guess.
You have.
We saw some of the mediumsters. We saw Mason Mount, who's 24, so he's not an oldster, but he's not a youngster, so he's a sort of mediumster.
Yeah.
We'll talk more specifics, obviously, but it's actually that second half team, which was all academy players, all basically kids who got the game done.
Big teams as
well.
Yeah,
they brought Bamford on, they brought Luke Galen on, they brought Dan James on as well for that second half, and it was those guys who got the win, so that's really good to see. But talking about first half, Mason Mount was the big focus, wasn't he?
Yep.
I thought he started really sharply, looked good. You could tell he was playing like someone who knew the camera was on him, if you know what I mean. He was doing stuff every time he got the ball.
Do you know what it is? You're right, Joe. He had that bit of swagger.
He did.
You want that. If you're going to wear number 7 shirt for Manchester United, and you're going to be a pivotal player for us, which I hope he will be, you can't be coming on. And we've seen players, and they come in, and it takes them a while to get going because they're a bit like, oh, I'm at United now, I'm at a big club. But he was like, yeah, this is where I belong. Yeah. I like it. Obviously, you can't get used to too much from 45 minutes against a pretty poor Leeds team, but he looked confident. He links up well with his teammates.
Yeah, he does.
And it was a real sort of solid performance in the first half. And then the kids came out captained by Charlie Savage in the second half, which was a bit of a surprise, but fair play to the kid. And did really well. Make sure, if you're not doing already, you are hitting subscribe. We want to get to 800,000 subscribers on this channel, and get involved in the comments. Who was it who stood out for you? Was there one player you thought?
Yeah.
Because Mason Mount, come on, we know what he's about. That's a tap in that. Who was it you thought he's for me?
I was most impressed with Ahmad. I thought first half, he also had a feeling to him that every time he got the ball, things went up a notch.
Yeah.
Like he was going past players, he was trying to sort of make passes through the lines, he was going past them himself with the ball at his feet, he was having shots. I know he put a couple over the bar, but I thought, and this isn't meant to be a bash at Sancho whatsoever, but in comparison, the two wingers there, Sancho was playing sort of more centrally at times as well. I thought Ahmad looked much more energetic, excited, much more like he was trying to show something, trying to prove something, and that same sort of Mount feeling of when he's got the ball, stuff happens.
Yeah.
And it's not, again, I'm not going to compare him to other players because I don't want it to be a dig thing at all, but you knew that the ball's at his feet, we're going to see something attempted here, and I really like that, and I think that's a player playing with confidence that is obviously built up by being at Sunderland, and I thought it looked really sharp. And also, if you think, we were kind of lucky that Anthony stayed fit for most of last season. I know he had bits where he missed games, but he was largely ever present, wasn't he? Because actually the options behind him are pretty thin. Like, you can play Sancho out there, but it's not necessarily where Ten Hag likes to play him. You can play Rashford out there, but again, these days that's not really an option anymore either. And after that, it's Pellistri, who again is in a similar situation to Ahmad. Like, I think Ahmad could cement a first squad sort of place with these performances, and it was really good to see him really going for it, I thought, and I was impressed by him. Who did you like?
I thought in the first half, Medjbury did well. I quite liked him. He was everywhere. He made a very good tackle. I agree with everything you say about Diallo, by the way. I'm sorry. And it was good to see Hugo get a goal
as
a striker, because I think the difference between him and McNeil is maybe physically Hugo looks a little bit more advanced. He looks like he's a little bit bigger. And you never know.
No.
Just because of the lack of options up front, whether he could get some minutes, whether he could be one where Erik ten Hag goes, you know what, in a dead rubber in the Champions League or whatever, or just with 15 minutes to go, let's just throw Hugo on. So it'll be interesting to see if it does matter to Erik ten Hag. Might in his head think there's no way this kid's getting in the first team next season. Yeah. This is just, I'm giving him more minutes. Or he might think, if I don't bring anyone in, or if I just bring in one striker, I need some more number 9s or people that can, cause a bit of trouble for the opposition. Maybe he's one of those, because he took his goal well. We just need players who are strikers.
Yeah.
And he is one. He scored loads of goals. He was at Sunderland, one of you, Gil. And then we got him from Sunderland when he was a kid, I think. Came to United. And him and McNeil have always been putting up big numbers at a younger age. So I was impressed with him. And I thought second half, it was great to see so many of the young players really sort of shine as well. Against a team, like we said earlier, a Leeds team, we had quite a bit of experience in it, didn't it? And let's not kid ourselves. They wanted to win it, Leeds. Yeah. They wanted to get off on a positive note in pre-season, and they ate United. And we ate them. So it was a real good one. What are the comments saying? But go on, if you've got...
Just on Hugo as well. Yeah. Goal. If you score goals, you get games.
Yeah.
It's one of those positions where it can be a weird one, where like Rashford is an example of that. Like he was 2 or 3 down the pecking order. We saw injuries and people, it was Martial got injured, but then who else was it?
Will King got injured. Will King came back in. I think he got injured. Was it away at Preston or wherever it was?
Yeah.
Did his knee after like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then that was him done.
Yeah, and Rashford comes in, gets 2 goals, plays against Arsenal, gets 2 goals. Like when you get a chance up front, if you put the ball in the back of the net, 9 times out of 10, you will get another chance.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those positions where things can just happen that are a bit weird, and if you keep scoring goals, you're going to play. So it's a really good opportunity for him to score goals and get some minutes. Mike 93 said, standout was Ahmad today. We played well, beat Leeds. Mount looked good overall. Good day, won't get hyped and giddy, but 21 is 100% coming, which is good.
I agree.
Another couple of players, I think.
The Kool-Aid.
Sorry, another couple of players who I think worth mentioning. I thought Kobe Mainoo looked strong first half. Strong performance. I thought he looked good on the ball. A couple of times I think said at half time, but letting the ball roll across his body and just again playing with a bit of confidence and a bit of quality that is nice to see. And he's one that Ten Hag does seem to trust, because he has had 3, 4, 5, I can't remember exactly, but he's been a bit of a go-to player when there is a few minutes spare.
Yeah, he's leapfrogged Danny ages above him.
Yeah,
exactly. In terms of the pecking order.
Yeah, so he's one to look out for. Second half, I thought we saw the goal obviously from Emeran, and I thought he looked good. He got a goal and an assist. Really he looked sharp on the right hand side, and I thought Hansen Aaron as well. Yeah. He's got just his composure and his control of his body with his feints and his little touches, and he's very sort of tricky, skillful looking player, and I thought he looked good as well. But it was just a decent performance really, wasn't it? A good pre-season, looks like no injuries, everyone playing relatively well, getting a win, just what you want from pre-season, isn't it?
Definitely good to see. Martinez getting minutes, looks like he's over his injury. Varane obviously captaining the team for the first half as well. One of those games where you think, job done, lots of positives, not really any negatives, to be honest with you. Youngsters have done well, the experienced players have got minutes under the belt, the ones that had knocks or injuries have sort of, showed that they're ready to go. And also Mason Mount makes his debut and, has a bit about him to show you that I know you can't take too much from it, but to show he's not overawed at the prospects of playing for Manchester United. So it was just a great day at the office, and you can always buzz, can't you, when you beat Leeds, no matter what level it is, whether it's the league or it's just a friendly. It's always good to beat a team that you don't like. So just mad positiveness. It's
slightly weird now that United have got this game on the 12th of July, and then usually once pre-season starts, the ball rolls. Whereas there's no game for another week now.
Is it Edinburgh the next one?
Yeah, so the next one's against Lyon at Murrayfield. So it's one game, and then it goes 19th. So it goes 12th, no games for 7 days till the 19th. Then it's 19th, 22nd, 26th, 27th, 31st, and then 5th of August. Like, it's weird this gap now, isn't it? Like,
isn't it 5th and 6th, or is that? Is the 2 games?
Yeah, 5th and 6th.
Yeah, it's like there's 2 games
there's
in
these
America.
Mad clusters of games.
And there's 2, obviously one in Old Trafford and one in Dublin, where they're back to back.
But we could have spaced these out differently. How come we've got 1 game now, then no game for a week, and then we've got 2 times where we've got 2 games in back-to-back days, but between the Dortmund game and the Lons game, we've got a week there as well.
I don't know whether this is still the case. I'm not as up to speed as it should be, but sometimes it's like there's a commercial aspect that you want to fulfill. Sometimes the manager himself wants a certain amount of games. He wants games around certain times where he wants to get minutes for certain players or whatever. So that all might come into it. And also you've got to shift certain games around in terms of the availability of the opposition, the availability of the stadiums, all that sort of stuff. So it does seem a little bit odd when you've got gaps and then back-to-back games, and you're going to have to obviously play the reserves for some or mix it up a little bit. But listen, I'm just buzzing that we've got off to a win, and we're going to be in America as well. We're all going to be over for the US tour. Me, you, Steve, Maka, over there. Pre-season tour in the US, and when we get back, we'll be in Dublin as well. Big announcement on that front as well. So make sure, if you're not doing already, you are hitting like, share, and subscribe.
We've just got one more, a couple more super chats quickly. Danny Foster's been member for 17 months. Thank you very much. Said Kovar looked great. Imagine Onana as an upgrade on that. ETH is cooking. And Jeremy Young also said, second half was mint. Youngsters walked all over Leeds when I was watching. Felt good to see the younger players feeling so comfortable on the ball, which I agree with. Very good stuff.
100% agree with everything that's been said. A good win for Manchester United under Erik ten Hag in this pre-season. Mason Mount debut. Youngsters getting goals. Leeds getting beat. Don't get much better than that. That's been Joe Smith. Where can people find you?
Joe Smith 93 on Instagram and Twitter.
You know where to find me, Jay Marty. This has been The Review. Thanks for watching.